I'm going to show you how to make this boombox basket, an original pattern by Lysa FLower. Hi, I'm here to show you how to sew this boombox basket, boombox bag, whatever you want to call it. This is an original pattern by Lysa FLower. You can find her instructions at lysaflower.com. I am presenting you with an alternative construction method and a different way of doing the handles. So this is a full kit in the May Happy Box. I hope you enjoy it. And let me see your boombox baskets when you're done. Let's get into it. Okay, so I already fussy cut this panel out. This is the medium size one. The large size boombox is the pink one. We're not going to be making this one, okay? We're going to do the medium. So I already cut that out and I rough cut a piece of soft and stable foam, and I'm going to base this all the way around the edge in just a minute. I want to show you how I cut the back from the panel. You can see all these skates here. I really need to give this a better press. But I'm going to take this boombox, and because I want the back of the bag to be fussy cut, I'm going to use it as an outline and just center it over these two skates and then cut that out. That'll look nice. I'm going to press this one first. So here's the front fussy cut of the bag, and here's the back. Both of these will be interfaced with foam. I still have to cut this piece. I just lay it on my soft and stable foam like this so that I have some space around the edges, and I just rough cut it out. See? Put aside my extra. I'm going to go press this, and then I'll baste around this one. So I wanted to show you this. Sometimes your fabric can shift when you're sewing it to the foam, and see how this corner is slightly off. I won't worry about it because this is going to be in the seam allowance, but this is exactly why I don't cut my foam pieces smaller than the fabric piece itself. I always cut it bigger. I like my foam in my seams. This is part of the reason right here. Now I'll trim the excess away. Okay, front and back exteriors of the bag. Fussy cut, clean up my space, and on to cut the sides, the handle, and everything else. Here I'm placing the sides of the exterior bag onto my foam. I'm rough cutting the foam interfacing away, and then I will baste all around these pieces and then trim them up to the perfect edge. Okay, we've got the lining sides, the front and the back. Now for the handles, you're going to cut 4 inches by 23 or 23 by 4, however you want to think about it. And what you'll do is, just like in the pattern how I described, you'll fold and make a center crease, which is this one. And then you'll open it up and bring the long edges in to meet in the center, and then fold again. Now don't sew it closed just yet because we want these to be padded. And my little trick for handles, even in bags, is I slide a piece of foam in there. So we want the foam to be 3/4 of an inch, not 1 inch. So just like this, I folded my foam and I'm just cutting the whole strip for both handles like that. Super fast. So now what I'll do is I'll take one of these and open it to this part, lay my strip of foam inside. It's great if it pops out on the ends. Don't worry about it. An inch, that's okay. Just a smidge though, because you do want the foam to cover the whole handle when you grip it. Now I will press this really quick and then I'm going to sew all the way down. Oops, the sunshine. I'm going to sew all the way down this open edge first, and then I'll take it out of the machine and I'll put it back in so I'm sewing in the same direction all the way down this edge for a balanced look. I don't sew down, turn, and then sew up because that oftentimes gives me a warped strap. All right, here we go. Now, if you take your strap out and it's doing this little twist, like a helix, don't worry, just press it. It'll be fine. Pressing fixes a lot of things. And I'm just going to do the same process on the other one. All right, so we've just sewn the front and the back and the sides of the lining together to form this loop. We want to find the exact centers. So what I do is I pull the piece like this and I match those side seams. Do you see that? I match those perfectly. Now, this is going to make a crease in the exact middle of the sides, which I am going to embellish, and then I just do a tiny little snip. Now, because this is non-directional, it's okay that I'm doing this up here. You want to make sure you're working with the bottom so we can match it to the bottom panel. Now, as you can see, we can find the center of the front and back if we perfectly fold this over and we do a tiny snip here as well. I'm hardly doing 1/8 of an inch, but it's enough for me to see center front, center back, and center of the sides. Remember, that's the bottom edge that I'm working with, because then we're going to bring in our lining and fold it. You can make a crease, or you can do tiny little snips like I like to do. And then open it back up and bring the short ends together. And now you've got the centers notched. So let me make sure I have the correct side here. I probably should have marked it. There it is. Okay, so I'm working with this edge. What I'm going to do is match the center notch with the center notch and place a pin here. I do want to work with pins because I just don't want this to move at all. Then I'm going to take the other side that's notched and match it to this notch. And then I'll take the sides. Oh, sorry, I keep getting my big head in here. The corners should line up with the corners of the bottom and the notches. I'm going to match this side with this notch. And this notch, I did that one a little deep, but that's okay. I got overzealous. Now, then your corners should be okay. We're going to sew all the way around. Now, I like to baste the area that we're going to use to turn this bag right side out instead of just leaving it totally open. You can leave it open if you like. I think it's easier to do basting stitches, which are very long stitches because you can unpick them easily. And then the fabric is kind of just trained to behave when we want to close that opening. Let's take it to the machine and sew all the way around. I'm going to switch to a basting stitch. Now I'm going to switch back. Keep your needle down and lift your foot to turn that corner. Try not to get too worried about your corners. They will be tucked inside. Don't let it stop you from sewing the project. That side I can just zoom along because I already have an opening on the other side. Oops. Check your placement. Make sure it's good enough for you. I see a corner here where I just have a bit of a wrinkle, so I'm going to unpick that and fix it. It was just I wasn't looking carefully enough. I can blame the kids and the dog, you know, whatever I have to do to make myself feel better. I could probably leave it in and never see it, but I see it now, so I'm going to fix it. All right, my lining is all shaped up. I fixed that little corner. It's good to go, so I can just set it aside. Now we're going to repeat and do the exact same process for the exterior pieces. And then before we're done with the exterior, we will attach our handles. Then we sew this all together and you're done. It's so quick. Prep takes longer than the project, like always. Okay, so let's lay this out. I'm going to sew my loop. I'll make sure everything is facing the right direction. Here we go. That's how we'll sew it together. So I'm going to place a clip over here. And then I'm going to place a clip here. See what we've got here? Now you know where the other one goes because you need a front and a back. Just make sure it's directional, so make sure it's right facing up. I only tell you because I have done it before, so it's easy to make a mistake. All right, I'm going to sew down all these edges. And the foam does not present me a problem. As long as your sewing foot is level, you will be fine. The reason I like to put my foam in the seams is I feel like it gives a better structure to the bag, and foam is very, very easy to sew. If you think your machine won't handle it, you can try a walking foot because it just kind of lifts. Think of it like lifting its knees. Instead of just walking normally, it's like lifting its knees like a soldier. Okay, let's go sew this. Okay, remember we need to find all the centers and do our little notches again. I think I folded it this way first last time. It doesn't matter. Just find your centers and make your notches. And then we'll do the same here. Now, this one is directional. This is the top. You want to be notching the bottom. So it's down here. Down here. What? All right, ready to attach, just like last time. Natalie, keep your dang head out of the camera. Needle down, lift the foot, turn that corner. Anytime you stop, keep your needle down in the fabric. That way it won't skip ahead and lose, like you won't have a gap. Nobody wants a gap in their fabric. Maybe they do in their teeth, but not in their fabrics. Hey, Nuggie. If you have to fudge it around those corners, just fudge it around. Nobody's looking that hard. Let's attach our handles. So we've got these 16-inch handles. If you've got one side that perhaps you fussy cut, I don't know why you do that to yourself, but if you did, like I did, place the right side down towards the right side of the exterior when we're attaching, okay? So I'm going to measure from this crease of the front and the side, 1, 2, and match it up right there. And then again from this crease, 1, 2, and match the edge right up with that 2-inch mark. And then I'm going to sew across there. But first, because I want to be economical about my time, I'll attach this one too. How rude, GoPro. I always check placement, make sure they're correct. Now I'm going to go sew those on. We're almost done. All right, the handles are on. It's looking super cute. All right, let's put these right sides together. You're going to have your lining, your exterior, and we're going to put them inside so right sides are together. We're going to sew around the top, push it out through the bottom of the lining, press, and we're done. I am so excited that I just can't hide it. Oh, I should change cameras. All right, hopefully this fits. Oh my gosh, sometimes when you do a foam, it feels like it's not gonna fit. Just mash that baby in there. Make sure your handles are tucked down in between. Don't sew it around at the top and your handles like this. You will be so mad. You will be so mad. Don't do it. Girl, don't do it.
Okay, come over this side, tuck that in, match those side seams.
And nest them. One goes one way, one goes the other way. Push those handles down so they're nice and flat. Don't have any bumps here. Make sure your handles are down and out of the way. You're so beautiful to me. Can't you see? You're everything I hope for. You're everything I need. All right, there we go. I think I've got enough clips here. I'm going to sew all the way around the top. I'm going to start near a side seam so that in case I mess this up, it's on the side and not the front. See, so I'm sewing over those handles again. They're going to be extra attached. All right, all together. Now I just have to find where I base stitched and unpicked it. I think I need my spectacles for this. Ooh, these are highly greased up. Who ate Kentucky Fried Chicken in here and touched my glasses? I swear. All right. There's some. Remember, I basted. In the pattern, I say leave it open because that's easier. But sometimes you want a real profesh finish. Am I right? So basting allows it to be so. From henceforth, baste. Don't leave open. Well, maybe I didn't baste enough. It seems real small. Maybe we can do it. Now, don't freak out with all these wrinkles. Remember, we need to press. We're going to press it a lot. And we're also going to pay attention to this top edge as we push this down inside. I always top stitch, I press and top stitch this very top edge before I close that opening in the lining, okay? It's just a quirk or a thing, a trick, a tip, whatever we want to call it. Because if I see any mistakes, I still have that open for easy turning, inside out to fix it or whatever. Okay, I need to do a lot of pressing. I'll be back in a second. Here is my finished boombox bag. I love it. It's tiny, it's small. Now remember, you have the whole panel, so you can go ahead and make the large or any of the other sizes, small, the teeny weeny, whatever. The smaller you go, the harder it is, usually. That's kind of a rule of thumb. And let me see your boombox baskets when you're done.